Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing my out-of-box review for the HG Iron-Blooded Arms Mobile Suit Option Set 5 and Tekkadan Mobile Worker. So thank you to MindFenix Hobby Store for sending me this kit to share with you guys. The link for their store is down below. If you're living in Australia, do go ahead and check that out. Now what you can see here is everything that you're going to be getting with the kit, and it's kind of a lot. I mean, it was just 4 small runners, so I mean in terms of like the overall volume of plastic, it's not like that much, but in terms of like different things that you get with this, it's quite a lot, I think. So we have the twin maces, we have the long rifle, the buster sword, the 200mm cannons, the Tekkadan Mobile Worker, of course, the open hands for the Barbatos Lupus, and then a couple of joint parts that we can use for putting some weapons onto the backpacks of the kits. So this kit, I think this stuff is like mostly recommended for the Barbatos Lupus as well as the HGIBO, and then possibly you can use the joint parts there. It also shows that with the Regenlays, which is not out yet, so I don't have that kit to show with this stuff at the moment, but we'll do a little something else. Anyway, I'll show you each of these things here individually. As you can see, everything is all molded in one dark brownish gray color. The white there that you're seeing on the back of the hands, that's stickers. It only comes with just 2 stickers in this set. It's just the 2 for the covers of the Barbatos hands there. Unfortunately, no white parts for those. Would have been nice, but just a little bit of paint. Anyway, the rest of this stuff as well could use some paint. Weapons are kind of okay just in those colors, but still doing some painting on those would probably help improve the look of them as well. The Mobile Worker definitely needs a lot of paint because it's totally not even close to being the right color anywhere. It's supposed to be like gray and tan. It's not supposed to be this brownish gray color anywhere. So let's take a look at the individual parts here. So first up, here is the new Tekkadan Mobile Worker. Now you can see you got like these missile pods there on the back, these cannons on the side. Would look okay from the side, but the inside is hollow, so that's going to be looking pretty bad, unfortunately. These cannons can move up and down like so. The missile pods on the back, though, are just molded, so those don't rotate at all. The whole thing can rotate there, here. The top and the bottom part is just separate, but the legs don't do anything else. They're just fixed like that there. Underneath it's just going to be very hollow. So very simple, but still pretty interesting. You can do some cool stuff if you wanted to do making some diorama or something. No plug port here underneath for plugging this onto an action base, though. It would be really easy to just do that, I think, by just drilling a hole here in the center or something like that. You could use for that or whatever. But there is the Mobile Worker. Then we have these couple of joint parts here. Now basically this will plug onto the backpack, and then you can plug on, like say for example we want to plug on the 200mm cannon onto the back of the Gundam. Is just going to work like that. But if you didn't want to plug on something like that, you can take off this part and use this part here. This will just hold any of the Barbatos's like handheld weapons. So for example, one of the short maces here, you can just plug onto there like that and it'll hold that. Now the Barbatos already has connections on its backpack that will work for that, but you could use this for something else, some other kit that doesn't have those, or if you wanted just to have a different kind of connection, you could use those. So we have a couple connection parts there. Well, I've got the mace here. We'll take a look at this. It's just pretty simple, 3 parts, and it looks pretty well. It hides the nubs, which are on like some of these parts here sandwiched together. Those are hidden in there nicely, so don't really have to worry about those. Nothing moves or anything, it's just pretty simple, and we have 2 of them. They're exactly the same, so those are those. The hands here are really nicely molded, and they're going to look really good if you want to paint the ends of those white, the tops of the fingers, how they're supposed to be, and paint the hand covers white. Those stickers are, you know, doing the job, but not really looking that well. So anyway, it's just nice to have these, so hopefully Bandai will continue the trend. We have the Buster Sword, just a very large sword here. It has this where you can plug this onto the backpack of the HGIBO. I'll show you that in a moment. It just plugs onto the backpack the same way that its scimitars plug onto there. Otherwise it's just handheld. You can hold onto here, you can hold onto this part, and it's just a big old fat sword. Then we have the rifle, which is looking kind of a little bit more like a shotgun, sort of. Here we have a secondary handle which will move, so that will move side to side like that. Otherwise, everything is just fixed like that. Nicely detailed, pretty cool shape, so I like this quite a bit. And then we have our 200mm cannons, 2 of these, and these are just going to attach onto the back of the Barbatos Lupus's arm. And like I said, you can use these on the backpack if you wanted to attach these like onto the back of a Grays or something like that. Unfortunately, the joint piece that I was talking about before, we only get 1 of these, so it would have been nice to get 2 of these joint pieces like this, at least this one. Oops. Yeah, this one. So that you could attach both the cannons onto a backpack, but unfortunately we only have 1 of these joint parts, so that is probably my biggest complaint about this set so far. But anyway, this will attach onto the back of the Barbatos Lupus's arm, and then the cannon can just rotate around like that, so you can have it like back in an inactive position or forward in a firing position. So that looks pretty cool. This whole part here will come off, and I suppose you could just attach it on directly like that, or attach it onto anything else just like that. So it's just a kind of extra part that's on there for that. Alright, so here is the Barbatos Lupus loaded up with the 200mm cannons there on the arm. Those connect nice and firmly to the elbow pieces there, and also with the mace, 1 in hand, 1 attached onto the backpack with the joint parts included with this set, and then 1 of the open hands there as well, so you can get a little look at kind of everything here for the Barbatos. Now of course the Buster Sword, the mace, the Buster Sword and the long rifle can also be used with the Barbatos. Anything you can mix and match, whatever. You can use some of this stuff on other Barbatos kits, you can use this stuff on other HGIBO Blood Orphans kits, or any other kits. The 200mm cannons, though, of course, are made to fit only for the Barbatos Lupus's elbow pieces, but I'm sure with some modifications you could obviously use them for other things as well. But those pieces are made specifically for this kit. And I have to say, the Barbatos is definitely looking better here, loaded up with some more weapons. That's one thing that I complained about with that kit in the review, was that it only comes with the sword mace, which is a cool weapon, but just to only come with the one really kind of basic weapon there was a little bit boring. Kind of wish it had a little bit more included with it. So having this set to give a little bit more firepower and weaponry and stuff to your Barbatos definitely is a nice little addition, if that's something you're interested in. Now, as I said in my review for the HGIBO kit, I thought the weapons that it came with were definitely sufficient. It came with the 2 scimitars, it came with the rifle, which I thought was all pretty good. It had a good balance of weapons already, but as we can see on the box art for this set, this is also able to use with this. Just for an example, I'm using the broadsword here with the HGIBO, Buster Sword. Yeah, so just for an example of let you guys see how this is going to look. The ability to put 1 hand on the handle, it's kind of like on the back of the sword, is a kind of cool thing as well. You can do some cool posing options with that, like swinging this huge thing or whatever your mind can come up with. So I'm not really, personally too big of a fan of Buster Swords, these big, huge, giant swords myself, but sometimes they look pretty cool. It can also be used pretty well just for defense, I guess, just because it's so big and huge. Right, so as I said, I don't have the new Regenlays yet, so can't use these weapons with that kit, but here it is with the Grays Ritter. Just wanted to show you guys how it looks with the cannon there mounted onto the backpack, and then that long rifle there as well. So definitely some cool weapons. The disappointing thing about the long rifle is that the secondary handle in the front just goes out straight to the side, so that means you have to, when you're holding the weapon, that kind of straight to the side handle like that is a little bit harder to get into the left hand. It's better to have a weapon handle that swings forward, sort of like a Zaku machine gun handle, if you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, one that swings the opposite way instead of out like that one that swings forward and back. Is easier to grip in a hand, but it would be possible just with a little bit of finagling. My Grays Ritter kit here, I just wasn't really bothered to do that. I do have to say though, the Grays Ritter is looking pretty awesome. This is just a good reminder for me of just how awesome the Grays Ritter looks. I really love it. It's definitely my favorite version of the Grays. But that's just on a side note there. Anyway, the cannon does look pretty cool mounted over the shoulder. Again, just kind of wish that we had 2 of those connection pieces, unfortunately. And the rifle is looking pretty cool as well. So that's pretty much going to do it for reviewing this option set number 5. Another great option set. I really like that Bandai does this for the Iron Blood Orphans line. I think it was a really good idea as a way to keep the price of the main kits down by putting a lot more of the accessories into separate kits. Now, of course, that could be annoying. I mean, it is ultimately more stuff that you have to buy, but it gives you a lot of really cool options for stuff, and it makes it optional. Like, if maybe you just wanted a Barbatos and you just want just the sword mace that it comes with, you don't really care about having the arm cannons, then you'd probably be okay with just getting the kit and passing on the option set or something like that. So anyway, it's just nice to have options. So yeah, and also I'm very glad that we're finally getting some open hands for some of these kits. Now, I wish they came with the kits themselves, but to have the open hands coming in the option sets is at least something. So anyway, can't have it all, right? So that's pretty much going to be it for this review, guys. If you like the look of this, then yeah, it's recommended. There's some nice stuff here, but nothing I would say that you really have to have unless it's something that you want for one of your kits. So you can use this for pretty much anything. So thanks for watching. If you have any other questions or comments, of course, leave those down below. And I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.